everyone. In this lecture, we'll be discussing the sampling process in detail. Now, sampling, as you all know, that is the main process in forming a discrete time signal from a continuous time signal. A continuous time signal, as we all know, is a signal which is having value for every t. For example, consider this signal x of t. Here, x of t, it's a continuous time signal. It is a function of t. The signal x of t is a function of t, and if you see this signal x of t, it is having value continuous for every t. Okay, it is having value for every t. Now we consider discrete time signal. A discrete time signal, it is having value only at discrete instance of time. Okay, only at, we can say, certain integer values of time it is having, discrete time signal is having value. Now how can we form a discrete time signal from a given continuous time signal? That is by taking values of the continuous time signal at discrete time instance, we can obtain the discrete version of the continuous time signal. Okay, now we'll consider the definition of sampling. Sampling is the process of converting a continuous time signal x of t into a discrete time signal x of n by measuring the amplitudes of the continuous time signal x of t at integer multiples of a sampling interval ts as shown in figure. Okay. Now, when we consider sampling, the most important term is the sampling duration Ts. Okay, the meaning of sampling duration is we are performing sampling, or we are taking samples of the original signal capital X of t at integer multiples of Ts, or the sampling period. If you consider these two signals, x of t is the original continuous time signal, and by sampling the continuous time signal, or taking the value of continuous time signal at multiples of Ts, here we have obtained its sampled version, which is a discrete time signal. Okay, that is, see, 0, the value of x of t at time t equal to 0, then first at time ts, the first sampling period, and the value of x of t at t equal to ts is x of ts, and then next sample is taken at time t equal to 2 into ts. Okay, it is given by x of 2 ts. The next sample is taken at time t equal to 3 ts, and it is x of 3 ts, and so on. So in general, we can represent the sampled signal like this: xs of t is equal to x of n into ts, where n is an integer, 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. having value, and ts is the sampling period. Okay, now the importance of sampling theorem is next we will consider sampling theorem. Okay, see, sampling theorem for low pass signal, it is stated as, suppose we have a band limited signal of finite energy. Band limited signal means it is not having frequency components higher than omega h radians per second, or fh hertz, and this signal can be completely recovered from a knowledge of its samples if the sampling frequency omega s is greater than or equal to 2 into omega h samples per radians per second. That is, the sampling frequency omega s is omega s is 2 pi by ts, where ts is the sampling period. Okay, and fs is omega s is 2 pi into fs. Now the sampling theorem, it gives us the relation that if we sample a signal under certain condition, we can recover the original continuous time signal from its sampled version. Okay, so this relation is expressed by the sampling theorem, and what it is stating: suppose we have a signal x of t with the highest frequency component omega h. Okay, and if we are sampling this signal at a frequency omega s, which is greater than or equal to twice omega h, or twice the maximum frequency of the original signal x of t, then this continuous time signal x of t can be recovered from the sampled signal. Okay, therefore the condition is omega s greater than or equal to 2 omega h, or fs sampling frequency greater than or equal to 2 into fh, where fh is the highest frequency content of the original signal x of t. Okay, so the minimum sampling rate or minimum sampling frequency omega s equal to 2 into omega h is referred to as the Nyquist rate. Its reciprocal Ts equal to 2 pi by omega s equal to 1 by fs is called the Nyquist interval. A very important term, Nyquist rate. That is, if the sampling is done at the Nyquist rate at a frequency equal to frequency greater than or equal to Nyquist rate, we can say the original signal x of t can be recovered from its sampled version. Okay, now this we can also express the sampling theorem in terms of the maximum sample spacing rather than a minimum sampling rate, because Ts equal to 1 by fs less than or equal to 1 by 2 fh. Hence, the maximum sample spacing for complete specification of the continuous time signal is Ts equal to 1 by 2 fh. Okay, now sampling a signal at a rate that is less than or less than the Nyquist rate is called undersampling, and when the sampling is done at a rate greater than the Nyquist rate, it is called oversampling. Okay, now we will consider the what happens to the original signal in time domain, and the corresponding signal in frequency domain when we perform sampling, and how this sampling theorem can be proved mathematically. Okay, suppose we have a signal x of t, a continuous time signal x of t, and let x of omega, capital X of omega, represent the spectrum, Fourier spectrum of x of t. Let it be of any shape, and here they have represented it as a triangular shape, the Fourier spectrum of x of t, and it is extending from minus omega h to plus omega h. That is, the highest frequency component present in x of t is omega h. Okay, now for performing sampling, what we are doing is we are going to multiply this original signal x of t with an impulse train, and the impulse train is represented by s of t. Okay, so here we can see the impulse train 0. The impulses are located at 0, ts, 2 ts, and so on. That is integer multiples of ts. Therefore, when we multiply x of t with s of t, what we are getting by the property of the impulse, will be getting the value of x of t at multiples of ts, where ts is going to be the sampling frequency. Okay, now s of omega, capital S of omega, represents the Fourier spectrum of the periodic impulse train s of t, and this we have already seen in the Fourier transform. This we have done as a problem in the Fourier transform of periodic signals. That is, when we have a train of impulse in the time domain, its Fourier transform is again going to be a train of impulse which are separated by integer multiples of omega s, and the strength of the impulse is omega s. That is the sampling frequency. Okay, now this x delta of t is the signal which we are obtaining when we perform sampling. That is, here we say sampling is we are multiplying the original signal x of t. See, you can consider this is x of t and this is s of t, the impulse train. When we multiply, what we are getting is the sampled signal x delta of t. See, it is having value at integer multiples of ts, and ts is the sampling period. Now in the right side they have shown x delta of omega, which is nothing but the Fourier spectrum of this sampled signal x delta of t. Now here if you observe, we have first seen the spectrum of x of omega, which is a triangular signal. It is extending from minus omega h to plus omega h, and when we consider the spectrum of the sampled signal x delta of t, see here what we are getting is again it is these spectrums of x of t, original x of t is getting repeated. Okay, and the spectrums are located at multiples of omega s. Okay, now we will see how we are getting this x delta of omega, or this spectrum of the sample signal x of t. Okay, now let x of t be the continuous time signal. Okay, let this signal be a band limited with the highest frequency component omega h, and we are sampling this signal regularly at the rate omega s samples per radians per second, and the sampling period is capital Ts. Okay, now the train of impulses s of t, it is represented as summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity delta of t minus nts, that is the impulse train, and x delta of t, which is the sample signal. It is obtained by multiplying the original continuous time signal x of t with the impulse train s of t. Therefore, x delta of t is equal to x of t into summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity delta of t minus nts. Okay. Now, because of the sampling property of the unit impulse, we know that multiplying x of t by unit impulse samples the value of the signal at the point at which the impulse is located. That is, x of t into delta of t minus t0 is equal to x of t0 into delta of t minus t0. That is, you will be getting the value of x of t at time t equal to t0, which is x of t0. Okay. Now, applying this to equation this 8.4, we see that x delta of t is an impulse train with the amplitudes of the impulses equal to the samples of x of t at intervals spaced by ts. Okay. Therefore, x delta of t is summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity x of nts into delta of t minus nts. Okay. Now, here what we have done is called instantaneous sampling. That is, we are multiplying the signal, we are taking samples instantaneous value of the original signal x of t. Okay, now we have seen that the x delta of t is x of t into s of t. We are multiplying two signals. Therefore, when we consider the Fourier transform of x delta of t, we can make use of the multiplication property of Fourier transform. So, multiplication in time domain transforms to convolution in frequency domain. That is, x delta of omega is equal to 1 by 2 pi into within bracket x of omega star s of omega, where x of omega is the Fourier transform of x of t, original continuous time signal, and s of omega is the Fourier transform of the impulse train. Okay, that this is by using the multiplication property of Fourier transform, and we know the Fourier transform of an impulse train s of omega is 2 pi by ts into summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity delta of omega minus n into omega s. This we have already derived, okay, as a problem. That is, the Fourier transform of an impulse is again an impulse train. Therefore, x delta of omega is 1 by 2 pi into within bracket x of omega convolved with 2 pi by ts into summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity delta of omega minus n omega s. Okay, and this 2 pi cancels, 1 by ts is taken outside, that into within bracket x of omega convolved with summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity delta of omega minus n omega s. Okay, so here when we are convolving any signal with impulse, what we are getting is that signal at the impulse location. X of omega star delta of omega minus omega s is x of omega minus omega s. Therefore, x delta of omega is equal to 1 by ts into summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity x of omega minus n omega s. Now, what is the meaning of this? X delta of omega is the Fourier transform of the sampled signal. Okay, and that is 1 by ts into, what is the meaning? X of omega minus n omega s. That is, the original spectrum is getting repeated. X of omega, it is getting repeated at multiples of omega s, the sampling frequency, and the strength is 1 by ts. Okay.